I feel like in general, if you've killed someone, like I think it's a red flag. I think we just have different life experiences. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Apologetically Me. I'm Maggie.
I'm Wanda.
And we're here to talk about part 2 of red flags, green flags, and your significant other. But before we get started, Wanda, tell the people what you got going on.
So I've been sat down by a few of my coworkers, and they think that I am burning out. And I think burnout is a very real conversation to have with people, especially if you're recognizing it, because once you're burnt out, it's very hard to come back from it, I guess. But for one, I feel like it's a little too late. Like if I were in my peak burnout phase, that was a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. Depends on how you define a couple, I guess. When you were younger, when someone was like, "Can I get a couple of these?" Did you automatically think two?
That's what a couple means.
Okay. I
What?
didn't.
But I know like people would try to confuse me because they're like, "Can I get a couple, like 3 of them?" And then I'd be like, "Huh? What does a couple mean to you, good sir?"
Yeah, I mean, like, no polyamory couples, no judgment.
Guess
And
so.
I always like when I used to work in the service industry and someone was like, "Oh, can I get a couple of those?" And I was like, "Two?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they gave me like such attitude for it,
Mm-hmm.
even though I didn't deserve it. I just wanted to confirm what your couple meant. Wouldn't you rather I confirmed it than mess it up?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
as someone who also works in the service industry, I always have to clarify too, because I know like my default is yeah two, and
hmm
then if they're in person, then I clarify. But if they're on the phone, I'm just like whatever. I want to get off the phone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, tangent aside, back to my story. I have done soul searching and reflecting, and I do not feel like I am currently in the midst of burning out, but I have recognized some potential things, work-wise, that might lead me on the path of burning out. So I think it's been great, actually, and I think it's something that everyone should actually do because it's a way to understand yourself a little better. It's a way to understand your work self a little bit better, and it could really help you or stop you from potentially getting to a point of like no return with burnout.
So you, sorry to backtrack. You don't recognize that you were burnt out now, but you still want to manage burnt out, like because you
What?
were wait no because you were saying you were burnt out a few weeks ago, but now you're like I don't feel burnt out, but it's still important to not be burnt out.
A few weeks ago, I was not burnt out. I was experiencing like more of a negative mindset because the task that I was doing didn't make me feel great, I guess. And then I felt like I was maybe on the path of potentially burning out if I didn't kind of like correct it in some way. And in particular, how I seem to have corrected on that, it was that slightly detaching from the task a little bit and just like giving up a little bit more of the control. And somehow that made me feel a lot happier. Although, if you eventually give up too much control, it becomes detachment and disengagement. So it's a really fine line of balance there. But yes, I think if I continued down that path, I was on track to burning out. I did not burn out. But now reflecting back, I am fine. Like I'm back
I
not
see, I
anywhere on
see.
track.
I feel like that was yeah, no, that's good. I think it's very relatable, and I'm glad that you're taking the time to care about yourself because work is not everything. They will Your work is not going to be loyal to you, but they will expect loyalty in return. So, as we were discussing this, our life lesson to ourselves was never start strong, always be disengaged.
Yeah, that way they have nothing to compare it to.
Yep.
Unless you start becoming more disengaged from that, then it's like,
There actually was a TikTok going around like a while ago warning people like not to start off strong and just be like an average employee and then um like if you want a promotion or like when it's actually like game time, that's when you can like step it up a little bit, and then they'll be like, whoa, like Wanda's so cool, like she pulls through, like she's great, like she's such a great worker. Because they're like, if you look at it, like if you start off strong and then you like start to lose focus, they're like, wow, they're really slacking off. But if you like start off weak and then get strong and then like go back to your normal, they're like, wow, what a strong employee.
Yes, but then when you go back to your old normal, are people not like, they're slacking again?
They're like, that was the baseline. That was great.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's like in programming where you introduce a bug that specifically slows something down, and then when it's like promotion time or whatever, and you want to increase the time, you just like remove the bug that you put in, or like remove the sleep timer that you had put in, and then everything runs so much faster.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. I
I also use that metaphor on a daily basis.
It's actually a very interesting metaphor, and I think it's very funny. And now I have my conspiracy theory of like every single time something is slow, I'm like, is this on purpose?
This is the simulation. It's acting up again.
Yeah. But I guess like what are your thoughts, I guess, on your levels of work and burnout and all that stuff?
I feel like it ebbs and flows. Like I think we're really similar in that sense. Like a couple weeks ago, I was also working like quite a bit. I was like constantly replying to messages like at all hours of the day. And I'd like start work early and then I'd sign off a little bit early, but then I'd come on again at like 10 p.m. or something like that to work like for another hour or two. So I feel like that kind of burnt me up because this week I'm like, I worked so much that week. I deserve to slack off a little bit. But now I have stuff coming up and I'm like, I'm so lazy and tired. So there are ebbs and flows. I think um every time like I work a lot, I'm like, I'm invincible. I can keep doing this forever. And then when I start to die, I'm like, why is this happening? So I have not yet learned how to recognize burnout. So I'm very glad that you did. Or that was flagged to you. I don't know which came first.
Yeah, I think it's like something that's like very prevalent and talked about in the tech industry nowadays, but I don't feel like it really translates to other industries.
Yeah, because I think like the expectation almost is like you have to work overtime. Like even when I do job interviews and stuff, they're like, how do you feel? How do you manage like priorities and stuff? And like almost feel like they want you to say like just get the job done, no matter what it takes. Like that's the vibe I get from hiring managers, and that's what I say too. And they like that response.
Ew, gross.
I know. I'm gross. I'm part of the problem.
I'm sorry that you work in an industry that is like that.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But if you ever feel that way, um, feel free to talk to someone or self-reflect or I don't know. There's a lot of ways, I guess, to deal with burnout. But one thing that I found kind of interesting was the way that my manager explained it. It's not always about overworking. Like overworking is like part of it, but there could also be just like a loss of agency where you don't really feel in control of your work, and then there could also be like unfairness where it's like you don't feel like you're getting like recognition for your work, or like you feel like you're doing things but you're not getting anywhere by doing those things. So it's not always just overworking, but I think like the default solution that people always suggest is like, oh, you should take time off, but like sometimes taking time off is not that helpful, and you're just going to come back to the same problem and maybe even worse because you took a week off and now the thing is even more due.
Yeah, that's what they say about vacation. Like they recommend actually taking more than 2 weeks off at a time because they're like you don't actually decompress. But I almost feel like that's way more stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? Stupid capitalism.
I know. Like the Europeans kind of are onto something.
Mhm. I agree. Okay, what is your update this week?
Um, I don't have a lot going on. My update is that Queen Charlotte is out on Netflix. It is the Bridgerton prequel. I have started watching a little bit. First, I tried to get Nick to watch it with me, and he did not want to. Then I guilted him into it because we watched something else. And then he was like, okay, fine, we can watch Queen Charlotte. And I was like, ha ha ha. And they did really great casting. Like, the casting for the Queen was, like, spot on. Like, very similar nose. I don't know what King George looked like on Bridgerton. I do not remember him. I think he was just old and crazy and kept referring to their dead child or something like that. I don't know, he referred to something, and then the Queen was like, she's dead, George. Or something like that. And then, what was it? So then I was always under the assumption that they never had kids. But I guess, was it mentioned in Bridgerton that they had 13 kids? Yeah. Oh shit, I completely missed that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Didn't the Queen introduce someone that was like a prince that was her son?
I thought that was her nephew.
Maybe.
To Daphne?
Oh, maybe.
That was actually the sidekick guy in
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew that she had a lot of children.
Yes. I did not realize that they were all awful.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Why are they all awful?
So there's like two storylines going on. I'll try not to spoil it. Like, one of them is like, well, you saw from the trailer, like she gets married against her will, or forced to marry against her will. And the other storyline is like present day, where she's like trying to set her kids up for marriage. Because they're all like dishonorable or something like that. Like, the guys are all sleazy and always in love with like women who have husbands or something like that, and the women are like past their childbearing ages or something, and they don't want to marry, that kind of thing. And she's like, how are
bad.
all I know. And she's like, how are all 13 of you like this? And then they try to do matchmaking, and they're like, it's a duty, it's not for love. But I'm like, isn't this a love story we're watching right now? I don't know.
No, but it's the love story of the Queen and her husband, not the love story of her children.
Yeah. Although, think about all the money they could make. They had the Bridgertons. Imagine if they did one for each of the Queen's children. 13 books. Julia Quinn would be rolling in so much money.
To be fair, the Queen did not exist in the Bridgerton verse, like in the books.
Yeah. I kind of like that they did this. Like, Rhonda Rhimes, great.
Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes. I was like, when I said that didn't sound right.
Close. You were there.
So close. But like, okay, I know this is gonna sound kind of wrong, but I kind of wish they didn't address like that they were black. Like, it's like they addressed it kind of like an experiment when they like marry George off to a black woman. Mm-hmm. But I'm almost like, oh, I kind of want it to be like a perfect utopia where racism didn't exist. And I know they like kind of address it in Bridgerton, where I think Simon from season 1 and Lady Danbury were like, it took us so long for people like us to be like accepted into society, that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, don't you want it to be like a perfect utopia where like racism never existed and no one saw color, and like they saw color, but they were just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, black people can be royals, no problem. What's the big deal? Like, isn't that so beautiful? If only.
Hey, I mean, no. I don't agree. I think it's almost like a way to make it a topic, I guess. Like, it's, I know, even though it's set so long ago, like it's still a way to be able to bring up kind of racism and like the injustices and stuff like that. So
yeah, I know. I'm not going to dismiss all that, but I'm like, in another world, wouldn't it just be so lovely? We didn't have horrible injustices done.
Yeah, well, that's not a world that we currently live in, so.
Yeah. Sad. And even in the Bridgerton world.
No one can escape it.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my update. I recommend that you watch so that me and you can talk about it.
Will do.
Thanks. Who's your beef or crush of the week?
So part of me is like, oh, my crush. McDonald's gave me an extra breakfast sandwich this morning. So
Whoa.
they're my
Why?
crush. I don't know. We just came back and like there was an extra sausage egg McMuffin in my meal. And
Oh.
I was like, holy shit, did I make a mistake? And I did not. They just gave
Mm.
us an extra one. So it was really nice.
Yeah, I
Um, but I feel like that's kind of a lame crush. So I
will.
I guess like I don't really have a crush or a beef this week, but I wanted to ask you, do you have any like antiquated beliefs that you kind of still believe in? Like an example of this is like still referring to people as using like sir or ma'am, or that men should walk on the outside when you're walking along the sidewalk to protect the woman. Do you have any of these?
um, oh, like old school, like a little bit sexist beliefs. Um,
Doesn't
Not
necessarily
sexist,
have to
but
be sexist.
uh, one of them is like the guy has to accompany the girl when it's like dark, which I feel like I don't know if that's antiquated. I just think that's like I don't know. I just think like women should not be left in the dark to fend for themselves.
I don't know if that's an like a antiquated belief or is that's just like a safety situation. I asked Jordan this question. He was like, I don't really know. And I was like, I think I have some. And then I listed all the things that like I thought were like I guess my antiquated beliefs, which are like, oh, I think men should mow the lawn, or I think men should use power tools and hang things up. And he's like, are those antiquated beliefs and you think men should do it because like you think it's a male job, or do you just not want to do those things and you're actually scared of doing them and that's why you say it's a man's thing? And I was like, the latter, because the example that he gave was if you saw like a woman mowing the lawn, would you be like, ugh, like I can't believe a man is not doing that for her? And I'm like, no, I would not think that. I would just be like, damn, she is much better than I would be. So,
Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't mow the lawn out of fear. I've just never done it my whole life, and I'm not ready to start now. But I
yeah.
also feel like sometimes I take advantage of Nick because like he does all like the heavy work. So I'm like, I'm just sitting here looking pretty.
Okay, to be fair, I have two comments on this. One is that Nick can't wash the dishes apparently because of his forearms. So I don't think he does everything. And the second one is he constantly sends snaps where it's like my hands look like this, or so hers look like this, so mine can look like this, or send things about like him being a passenger princess.
That's so funny. He very rarely. Oh, that's my antiquated belief that if it's a couple or something, it should be the guy driving.
But if you were to see like a woman driving between the
Oh,
two, would you feel like it's weird?
no. I just don't want to drive, so I'm. I see, I see. It's not an antiquated belief then. It's just me not wanting to drive. I know Nick says he also prefers to drive, and I'm like, well, if you prefer and I don't want to, then this works out great.
Yeah. It's weird that you don't want to because you're such a good driver and you wanted to drive so early in your life.
Yeah. Um, you outgrow it, and I don't know. I just like don't want to. Like if I trust you, then I'm like, yeah, you can take it from here. Like it's fine. I don't need to be awake. And if the driving's really bad, I just close my eyes.
Mm,
Let Jesus take the wheel. Um,
I guess.
yeah. Hmm. Sorry, I forgot. Back to your main point about these antiquated things.
I
How's
don't
this a
have
beef
one.
or a crush?
This is not, it's not, I didn't have
Oh,
anything else to say, so I'm just gonna.
that's so funny. Huh. Well, I agree with the whole men should be doing the power tools and mow the lawn and all that stuff. So sorry. It's not that like I'm not a feminist and that I don't think I can do it because I can totally do it. I just like I'm not good at it, so like someone else is better at it, you know? Competitive
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, I guess. I I thought about this for like lifting heavy things too. And I was like, oh, men should lift heavy things. And Jordan's like, no, you just don't like lifting heavy things. And then he was like, for utility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Kind of
like it
interesting.
though when I lift heavy things and people are like so impressed at how strong I am.
Like in real life or in the gym?
No, in real
I,
life.
they're both real life, but
But like in real life.
yeah.
Like outside
Uh,
of the gym simulation.
what are you like? What do you do? Like,
Oh,
paint me a scenario.
like Nick's mom is doing renovations. They asked my help, or actually, I suggested to move something, and Nick was like, "Can you help me move it?" And then I helped pick it up, and his mom was like, "Wow, you're so strong." And Nick was like, "Whoa, you're stronger than I thought." And I was like, "Ha ha ha, I know." And even like helping his mom grocery shop, I'll carry in like a bunch of stuff at a time, and she's like, "Wow, you're so strong." Like a couple bags of like dog food, which is like very heavy. And
Mm.
she's like, "Whoa, I used to be able to do that too. Now I can't." I'm like, "It's okay.
Aw.
I'm
But
not
also
gonna die."
I'm a firm believer in doing like as little grocery trips
Yeah,
from
me too.
the car to the house as
I
possible.
agree.
Yeah. Um, so not really my beef or my crush, but do you have a beef or a crush this week?
Yeah, I texted it to you last night so I wouldn't forget. I watched the Dune 2 trailer, and my crush, sorry, not last night, this morning. Um, Maybe I forget when, but I watched Dune 2, and my crush on Timothy Chalamet is unfortunately back. Um, he is such a great actor. Uh, And honestly, like I watched Dune in theaters and I didn't like it because I couldn't hear a single thing they were saying. And then I watched it another time on the plane with subtitles, which was great. And I finally liked it like so much better. Like I liked all the characters. What an all-star cast. So I think I'm into Dune now, and I'm going to be more into it because Florence Pugh is in the next one, and for some reason Austin Butler is in it too. Is it Austin Butler? Who is that? The guy who played Elvis?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's in it, and you think like they put more like makeup or something on him to be like, oh, we don't know who that is. But as soon as you see him, you're like, hey, it's Austin Butler. You should watch the trailer. It's funny. Uh, but yeah. Anyway, he looks great. I love him. Too bad he's dating Kylie Jenner.
Wait, what?
There's a rumor that he's dating Kylie Jenner, and I'm like, it gives me such an ick. But maybe it's like the same people who think Taylor Swift and Matt Healy are dating.
Wasn't he dating like a 21-year-old or something?
Uh, Lily Rose Depp.
I don't know. He was dating someone really young, and people were like, ew.
I think he was dating Lily. That's the only one I know, Lily Rose Depp, for a while. She is like a few years younger, I think, like Johnny Depp's daughter. But they broke up, and then he was like hooking up with Isa Gomez, and then I didn't know who he dated after that. Kylie Jenner now, I guess.
Haya Gerber?
No, Kaya Gerber's dating Austin Butler.
Isn't that what I said? Who are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about Timothy Chalamet.
Oh,
That's who
I
my
thought you were
crush
talking about who?
is. I
I
don't
thought you
care
were
about
talking about.
Austin Butler.
Oh, okay. I understand now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Austin Butler and Kaya Gerber. Yeah, big age difference.
Okay, because I thought this was like common knowledge, so I was like very thrown off by
Oh,
everything you just
yes.
said.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, it's from the same people who said Taylor Swift and Matt Healy are dating. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I believe that Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner are dating.
Yeah, it's very weird because he really does not seem like her type or her family's type.
Yeah, because he's a skinny white boy.
Hmm. And everyone in that family. Well, I mean, okay, actually, I take that back. I think there's a new trend of the entire family dating skinny white boys now because
Yeah.
Pete Davidson, Travis Barker,
Scott Disick? I feel like Courtney's always been into the white guys.
that is fair. Eh, maybe. Okay.
No. But yeah, it's my crush. What's your hot take on the Taylor Swift and Matt Healy thing?
It could be a thing. Is that a hot take because I said it could be a thing?
And there's a hot take because I'm in denial.
I think it'd be kind of funny.
Gabby sent that in the group chat last night, and I was like, I saw that, and I was so mad, and I was, how could you believe this? Like, she would never like sink down this low. And Gabby was like, why? Like, it could be. Like, how would you feel? And I was like, no, she would never do this to me. Like Matt Healy, like they're two of my favorite artists. Like I love the 1975, but also like I do not want them combining. No,
Hmm.
my two foods shouldn't touch.
That's so funny.
Anyway, Moving on to our topic, red flags, part two. We had so much fun talking about it last week, and now we have some more things to bring up. I'm gonna let you start it off.
Okay. Do you think it's a red flag if they want to share their location with you and they want you to share your location with them?
I don't think it's a red flag. Like, well, okay, it's a red flag to be like, you have to share your location with me. I think something about that is kind of like messed up. Like, they don't trust you. I think it's a different story if you were like, I want to share my location with you, like a Snapchat location thing. I think that's completely different. Um, but I think the difference there is like, yeah, you insisting and wanting your partner to do it. Red flag.
At what point is it insisting versus just like suggesting?
I think it's like it turns into a fight kind of thing, or
Mm.
like you can't seem to get over the fact that they won't turn on their location.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Oh, so like you've asked for it once and they said no and then you keep bringing it up kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What about you?
I I think I'm in the same boat. I enjoy sharing my location and
Me too.
having my partner have my location just because it makes my life a lot easier. Because, like, if they're coming to see me, I can track where they are and plan accordingly. Or if that's kind of the only reason I guess that's kind of the only thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I like having it on too because I'm just like, huh, I want Nick to see where I am sometimes. And I only have it on for like a select group of people, so I don't mind turning it on for them either.
Yeah. I don't really check it outside of just being like, oh, like, where are you in your journey to getting somewhere kind of thing.
So me.
But you also like I only have your location on Snapchat and it's not like you open Snapchat every time you go to a new location, so it's kind of like not always that useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's also like a red flag if they constantly check your location. Like if let's say you're like out with friends and they're like texting you and being like, "Hey, like I thought you were going to this place. Like why are you here instead?" Or like if they're like, "I saw you leave this place. Like are you where are you going?" kind of thing. Like just like overall very like controlling behavior, I guess. Like that's a red flag.
That actually happened with my brother and a previous ex. Like he was like delivering pizza or something and she'd be like constantly checking his phone and like called him and was like yelling at him and was like, you said you were working today, like that's why we couldn't hang out, like why are you at this person's house, like what's going on? And he was like, I'm delivering pizza, like calm down. And then like he tried to talk to my older brother about it and was like, that's why like we had to break up, like she was just so controlling. And
Mhm.
then he was like, I don't see a problem with that. And I was like, uh, Nikki, do not listen to Hugh. That was a huge problem. Wrong person to listen to.
And yet he out of the three of you is the only one who had a wife and kids.
No comment. um, is it a red flag if your partner has opposing political views?
Ah, ah, ah. Okay. In my opinion, and I know because I've watched this short as well, that the person said no, it's not because you want to hear different perspectives, I guess. And like being with someone who's different than you isn't necessarily like a bad thing. But in my opinion, I think it is because I don't think anything I believe is something that I could have someone else go against. Like I think the things that I believe are so just like I don't know. It's just like so essential for human life in a way almost that I'm like if you don't also believe this, then you're a red flag. Because like I'm thinking about everything that like politically that I would believe in, which is like I think I'm more socialist than I am like capitalist. I like believe in like free healthcare. I believe in taxing the rich. I believe in um the rights to abortion and like gay marriage and like safe spaces and equal rights and equality and all those things. And it's like I can't see someone having like an opposing view on those and not just getting into like a giant argument with me about it. Like, do you have anything that you think that is like a view or a political view that you hold that you could have someone else like not hold that same view?
I totally agree with you. It's already a struggle for me that my parents are not on my side politically
Mm.
because I feel like I don't know if it was like back in the day, but I feel like like as we move forward, like politics just become like so ingrained into our daily lives and like it's just become like a huge personality trait almost. And it's
Mhm.
like people are getting more extreme, like the people who are like pro life, like it's just it's so much like all the protests and stuff, like it's too much. Like I don't think I could ever be with someone who's pro life. Um and yeah, like guns and stuff, like every day like something's bad is happening. I can't. It's just like it's just fundamentally against my and like and when I say extreme too, I feel like maybe I'm becoming extreme for that and being like I will not be friends with you if you are pro life. Not be friends, but I will not date you if you're pro life. Like those are my deal breakers kind of thing.
Yeah. You funny, do you think that do you think it's less of a red flag if you're friends with someone who is like pro-life, but not like pro-life in the way of like pushing it on to everyone else?
I definitely don't like it. Um and that's why I feel like I did have like a coworker who I thought we were like so close to being friends and they told me they were pro life and then like just our discussions and stuff, I feel like that turned me off from the friendship and we were never like as close again because of everything she said about pro life.
Mm.
So yeah, I feel like we'll always be like acquaintances, like on like arm's length apart. I think like we'll never become like close because of my opinion of you. I'm sorry.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like they can't break the friend barrier.
Yeah. It's ugh, just like everything she was saying. I wish I had a recording to show you or something.
I think you told me some of the stuff
Yeah.
and it was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I applaud people who can be with someone with opposing political views and you don't constantly get into arguments about it. Okay, so another red, like, do you think it's a red or a green flag if they want to hang out more than twice a week?
Can
Imagine you're not living together.
red or green flag they want to hang out more than twice a week? I think that's a green flag. Why would it be a red flag? Like,
How many times a week would it be for it to be a red flag?
I guess it depends on like your availability. Like if you want to see them, like go ahead, see them every day if you want. But if like you're busy and you don't want to see them, then that's a different story. I think it's okay to have like some space if you want like a day apart or something. And like do whatever you're comfortable with. So I think it's a green flag. I see no issues with that. It would only be an issue if you don't like him or
Hmm.
her.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'd hang out every single day.
Yeah.
I'm very clingy.
Mm. I do like having like my me time too. Cuz I'm
Mm.
like I need something to tell you. Or then it's like, what did you eat today? Well, I ate everything you ate. But if I go into office, I'm like, I got a different story for you. Guess what free food I got today?
I mean, don't you just have like different stories even when you're just working apart?
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes like you get really caught up in your phone. Like you have days or I have days where I'm like I don't even want to talk. I just want to keep browsing TikTok while we're eating. And then he has to take
Oh,
my phone away.
oh, poor Nick. I've I've not had that. I
It's an addiction.
Yeah, maybe you should stop. Is
He
it a red or green flag if they're on
Oh, that's a good one. Is it a red or green flag that they're like cons constantly on their phone?
red flag? It's actually one of my pet peeves.
Hmm.
Um, And this is a thing that Jordan doesn't do often, but he does sometimes where I'm talking to him or we're doing something together and then he starts pulling out his phone and he's like browsing Reddit. I'm like, what are like, is this not enough? Like, why do you need something more?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, like I think it's fine, like if you're browsing your phone, if you're in the bathroom, or if you are waiting for the bus. But like if you're with someone else and you're like just constantly on your phone, I guess, even as they're trying to talk to you and like tell you things, like I feel like it's kind of shitty.
What if like you're watching TV together and one of you is still on your phone?
I think it depends on what you're watching. Like if it's a show that you're both like very into, and you wait like every single week to watch it, then I think it's shitty if one of you just kind of like pulls out the phone. But I think it's like if you just have something mindless on TV, like a series that you're kind of just like maybe binging or like a YouTube video that you throw on, then I think it's like generally fine to pull out the phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to be better at that. I'm an iPad kid. Not actually, because iPads weren't around when I was a kid, but I am constantly on my phone. And even when we're watching TV together, I am playing Candy Crush. So sometimes, like when it's like our show, I'll try to put it away, or like I'll ask if it's okay. But then he thinks he can be like me, and he takes out his phone too and browses, and then he's worse at multitasking. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, same. That is exactly what happens with Jordan as well. He sucks at multitasking. So it's not like he, when I do other things, I still know exactly what's happening
mm-hmm.
on TV. But when he does other things, he completely zones out.
I know. And I was trying to get him to. Do you ever watch that show Lie to Me on Disney?
Maybe.
It's just like it's not like based off like actual science, but it's this guy who's like he reads micro expressions. But I thought it'd be like really cool for Nick to watch because I liked it back in the day, and I was thinking of watching it again. Um, and I was just like playing Candy Crush because like I've seen all these episodes, and then Nick gets out his phone and starts browsing Facebook Marketplace, and I'm like, no, pay attention, like you're gonna miss everything.
I should actually suggest this show to Jordan because apparently he really likes Tim Roth.
Oh,
Um, because we were watching She-Hulk and
mm.
Tim Roth is the
Abomination.
yes, that. And he was like, "Wow, I really like Tim Roth." And I was like, that's a very weird thing that I did not know."
His character did like a 180 from the original Incredible Hulk to She Hulk.
I didn't watch the original, but I'm glad he got rehabilitated.
I mean, he still
Oh,
went to jail.
yeah, but like he got rehabilitated in jail.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, his character was very like psychopathic in the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. What did it, so red flag or green flag or like what was your on
Well,
the
I'm
whole phone
biased, so
thing?
I think like actually no, I'm not even that biased. I think it's a red flag. To be on your phone all the time, and I know I'm a walking red flag. It's fine. It's fine.
Yay.
I'm trying to.
I'm
I
glad
can do better.
I'm glad this is the episode where you realize you're a red flag because I left last episode being like, "Holy shit, I'm psychotic."
That there was such a funny part. I think it was the one where I like accidentally called you out. Oh, for like texting, like just constantly texting, like you don't even want to talk to me. You just want to talk to a wall. And you're like cracking up the whole time. And I'm like, what's happening right now?
Oh, just you wait. Yeah. You know, we all have our red flags.
Yeah, and that's okay. We can't all be perfect.
Yeah. Do you think it's a red flag if they constantly fart in front of you?
I definitely don't love it. Um, because I'm like, I don't have to constantly fart. Why do you have to constantly fart? Um, it depends on how they're doing it. Like, are they doing it to purposely get me to smell it? Or are they doing it because accidentally? It all depends on the intent.
What if they're just like a really gassy individual?
It is what it is, so it's not a red flag. I mean, it's not like something I look for, so I feel like reluctant saying green flag, but it's like more green than red, I guess.
That's really funny. It's a green flag if you're gassy.
I love that.
I mean, to be fair, like because you're lactose intolerant, you do tend to eat a lot of lactose. It'd almost be nice if it was a green flag for you because then you'd be like, ah, together we fart.
Yeah, I was trying to ask Nick the other day, like, when was the first time, like, we both farted in front of each other? Or, like, sorry, when was the first time we farted in front of each other? And we don't know. We don't know when that barrier broke. Because I
Mm.
remember I was telling you, like, how bad my stomach was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Long, long time.
Yeah. Look at you now.
Yeah. I mean, now, like, I still fart, like, way less than him. I think
Oh.
guys are just gassier. I don't know.
Mm.
You're gassier?
I think if I asked Jordan, he would say that I'm gassier, but I think if you ask me, I think he's gassier.
So we'll never know with you two.
Yeah.
um, I mean, I can say from living with my brothers and Nick that men are gassier. But those are just
But
the three, so they're not a good sample size.
is it just because you're not that gassy? Like, is it just because you hold it in more? Like, what's.
I don't think I hold it in necessarily. I don't think like I'm just like every other person. I put on my pants one leg at a time. But I also don't fart as much as my brothers and Nick. I'm
That's
sorry.
interesting.
I'm sorry.
My evolution has been I used to be like, oh, scared to fart in front of Jordan, and then I was like fine with it, but then I'd like sometimes like I'd hold his nose when I farted because then I'm like, oh, like I don't want you to smell it. But now it's just like full blown, I don't even care.
um, our new thing is blaming it on Jackie, actually. And poor
Of
Jackie's just
course.
like there. But when Jackie farts, it's like very pungent. Like it smells like burnt popcorn. And we get concerned because we're like, what did he eat?
But it's always like that, no?
Like when he farts?
Yeah, like it's always burnt popcorn. Is it or is it only
Oh, it's
sometimes?
like almost always. Like apparently, like lately when he farts, I haven't even heard him fart or smelled anything. But when
Oh,
he does fart, it's actually it was when he was sick when he was farting a little bit. That was concerning. But other than that, I don't think Jackie really farts. He used to fart all the time when he lived at Nick's mom's house. And I asked Nick, what did you guys feed him exactly? Because he would fart every time I was over nonstop. And now he's like,
oh,
he doesn't fart.
hmm. Congrats. You've got the gas out of him, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably sad.
Hmm.
He was eating good.
Is it eating good if he farts all the time?
I mean, probably not great for his stomach, but he was probably happy because he was like, every morning he gets a shit ton of cheese. And dogs
Okay.
are like generally lactose intolerant too.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, they're a big cheese family. Um, is it a green or red flag if they do not want any pets?
This one's hard because I don't think it's a green or a red flag. I think I'm fine when someone doesn't want pets, like because I don't feel so strongly about animals. Like I know some people do and they would automatically think that this is a red flag. But because I don't, like I could live my life with an animal and I could live my life without an animal. It's probably easier to live my life without one just because I'm very allergic to a lot of animals and it's an extra responsibility. But yeah, I think I can't say red, I can't say green. It's like the same situation with the gas, right? With like the farting. Like I don't look for someone who doesn't like animals, but I wouldn't say that if someone told me this, I'd be like, red flag, we can't be together.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat too. Because, like, I guess both of us, like, we grew up without pets, so we can see our
Mhm,
life without one.
mhm.
But now that I have Jackie, I'm like, I cannot picture my life without this wild animal in my
Oh,
home. But also, I don't know if I want another pet after Jackie.
like when Jackie's gone or
Yeah, I feel like people just replace their dogs so quickly, and I'm gonna be mourning
forever.
forever. I will constantly be comparing my new dog to Jackie, so I don't
What
think
if
that's
your new dog
healthy.
is like so much better?
Ooh. How? How can anyone be better than Jackie?
Is not shit or throw up in the
Okay,
house.
Jackie doesn't do that all the time, just when he's sick. That was twice. Every time we bring it up, we talk for Jackie and we're like, hey, it's only happened twice so far. It's been once a year. So not bad. Think about it when you have a kid. Think about how many times you threw up on the floor as a kid. I threw up on carpet so many times.
I think I've only thrown up in an inconvenient situation once, and I threw up on myself on a school bus.
It's truly inconvenient.
Well, I mean, it wasn't because I got it nowhere else other than myself. It was just
Yeah,
inconvenient because it smelled bad.
yeah. I remember, side story, I remember this guy from like my grade 8 school, and he was like feeling really sick, and he threw up when we were walking from like the portables back into the school, and then he still didn't want to go home, and he was like, no, it's fine, I'll just stay. And we were in class, and he threw up on the desk in the portable on like this really hot day, and
Ugh.
everyone was like, Eric, why don't you just go home? And then we had to have class outside. And I just thought like that was so funny to me because like he already threw up once. Like once you throw up once, like it's go home. But he
Yeah.
just like stuck it out. I respect it.
Did you enjoy class outside?
Oh no, I don't think so. It was really hot.
Oh. Oh, okay. I mean, to be fair, portables aren't like super air conditioned.
Yeah, they
Like,
are not. The smell is
okay.
so strong.
Oh, okay. Blah.
Yeah.
Um, do you think it's a red or a green flag if they go to therapy?
Is it court mandated? That's the difference here.
That's so funny. Would it Well, actually, would that be a red flag if it was court mandated?
A little bit. Like,
What if
what
they
issues did you have that you had to go to court and the judge was like, you need therapy?
I mean, clearly not bad enough such that the judge was like, "Hey, you need to do jail time."
Um, Still think something's wrong.
But what if they're like really grown? Like, what if they're like, "Yeah, that was my past. Like, I did those things, but like therapy has helped me a whole lot." Still a
Like,
red flag?
do they continue therapy or they just stop because the court mandate is over?
Okay, let's say they started with court mandated therapy. They were like, it was really helpful, and they continued with court dated mandated therapy.
Okay, I guess that's a green flag. Like, not a red. It would be a red flag if they only did it for the court mandate,
Mhm.
but green flag that they're still trying to improve and work on themselves. I think work on yourself is always a green flag. Wait,
Would it be a
unless like you killed your family and then the judge was like, you gotta go to jail and therapy.
what if the family was like super abusive and neglectful and like he or she like had to kill their family?
I don't like this game anymore.
Red flag?
Probably red flag. Like I feel like in general, if you've killed someone, like I think it's a red flag. I think we just have different life experiences.
What if you accidentally killed like an animal?
I mean, I'm sure I've accidentally killed an animal before too.
Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, animals, but you know, fish.
Oh, right, true. Fish are animals. I was gonna be like, what animal did he kill? I was thinking like roadkill of some
Oh yeah,
kind. Like
that's who
maybe.
would kill. What about when the bird kills itself on your car?
I don't think the bird died.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it's a red flag if their favorite movie is The Joker?
um, Not only the Joker, but if it's also Fight Club, then yes. There's like a whole there's a whole list of movies that are like a red flag. Like Joker's one of them. Fight Club. Uh,
Why?
it's just because it's like they're so like masculine and I don't know what it is, but it's just something about it gives me the ick. If it's like if it's that and also Pulp Fiction too. Something else. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that like really is hyper masculated. I don't think that's the right word, but you know what I mean. Like and anything that like glorifies like men being shitty and abusive. Yuck.
That's kind of interesting. I saw something about the Joker and I was like, oh, I wonder. But that's interesting that there seems to be a repo of movies that. Well, is there like a flip side for like females?
I seen memes about it. Like when the Barbie movie came, like the trailer came out, the girls were like, "The Barbie movie is what the Joker is to guys for me."
That's weird.
It's a meme, but like,
Oh, okay.
um,
Like, I would think maybe like if her favorite movie was like The Notebook.
ew.
What? That's one of my favorite
That's so
movies.
funny because I just like, do not like that movie.
It's okay. I think what I don't like the movie, but I like the sexual chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Rachel
Ah,
McAdams. That's the part I like about that movie.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what girl movies out there. Mm.
Maybe like any like you know the Disney girls or like the Disney
Oh,
adults.
yeah, those are kind of cringy. But
Yeah.
wait, what if like High School Musical was like your favorite movie?
I think that's wonderful. Like, well, it
Okay.
depends. Like, is it the first High School Musical or is it like the second or the third? Because I feel like they get significantly worse.
Yeah, the first one. I don't think any other option applies. But in the second one, that song "I Don't Dance" is like such a banger.
I think it's fine if those are your favorite movies.
Just the animated ones are the red
There's
flags.
animated ones?
No, 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 like animated Disney movies.
Oh,
No animated High School Musical.
I was like, they're remaking it again. Um, you wait, you think animated movies are
No, is that like what you're
oh
trying to say? Like Disney movies?
no, like I just think people who are just too into Disney.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. If you make like Disney your personality, I feel like it's kind of cringy.
Yeah, but I don't think like liking Disney shows makes you cringy.
Yeah, I enjoy Disney shows, Disney movies. Like I
Yeah,
like them, but like they're not my go-to movies.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's I wonder what is the female equivalent to that? Probably The Notebook,
It's
but
gonna
I
be the
can't think of
Barbie movie
anything.
for me.
I don't think that's going to like I don't think it's a very like it's not the same. Like I think the similarities between like Wolf of Wall Street and like the Joker, there's a very like toxic masculinity and like bro-y culture there, but I don't think that's in the Barbie movie.
Yeah,
Like
because that movie seems so lovely. And like they represent all different shapes and sizes and cultures.
yeah, but it's also just very campy, so I can't like it's like if High School Musical was
I love
a
it.
red flag.
I love it. Did you
Yeah.
see like those clips where like the quote from Ryan Gosling being like, "I love that Greta Gerwig, the director, brought me onto this movie. I really got to display my Kenergy." And everyone was like going wild over that. They're like, "Wow, Ryan Gosling said Kenergy. This is why we should let actors speak."
Yikes. Because it's not like actors speak all the time. It's not like we're in like a silent movie era. What the
I
hell?
think it's just the fact that he said Kenergy.
Mm. I personally think Ryan Gosling looks way too old to be Ken.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
But I think it's funny.
yeah. Do you think it's a red flag if they want to split the bill 50-50 on the first date?
Um, I actually talked to Nick about this recently. Like, I think it's weird that you took them out to dinner on the first date.
Okay, like other than like that's a red flag. Like if someone
Like,
asks you out for dinner.
yeah. I think for the first date, it's not a red flag. I think it's like fine, like you're just getting to know them kind of thing. Like you don't know the dynamic yet. But then also like a part of me is like, you're the one who invited me. You should have paid. But I think I have more of that attitude for the second date. That's why I'm like, you should never go to dinner on the first date. Because what if they suck? You have to sit there like at least an hour with them now. Way to go.
Wouldn't you have to sit through an hour with them like if you
For
got
coffee chat.
coffee?
You can quickly make an excuse. For dinner, good luck making an excuse.
What excuse would you do to get out of a coffee chat?
Like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I have to go. My brother's calling me. I have to go pick him up.
Is that not the same excuse you could do for a dinner date?
No, I have to wait to flag the waiter down. It's so embarrassing.
It is one extra.
No, there's more. It's
Okay.
just more stressful. It's just like a coffee is like quick grab and go kind of thing, and it's like a few dollars, no big deal. It's like
Mhm.
he doesn't pay for you. But then a dinner is like, I'm more like, you invited me, and this is like more costly. Like you should be paying for me.
What if you invited them?
Ooh, then you should be paying for them, queen. Sorry.
Interesting. Is Okay, so is it a red flag?
Oh, see, that's unclear. I think it's not a red flag. I think it's fine for the first date to be 50-50.
Yeah. Unless they were like for some reason like no, I'm going to pay. Like I got a gift card. And
Yeah.
then they like show up and they're like when the bill comes, they're like, "Actually, can we split that bill?"
Oh
And then I'd
my
be like,
god.
"Hmm."
Did this happen to you?
No. That'd be funny though.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been on many dinner dates. I find them too intimate.
Yeah. Even like when me and Nick go out now to restaurants, I feel like we're very quickly in and out.
Why?
I don't know. I think we're just like, okay, cool, let's go.
I see. Do you think it's a red or green flag if they never plan dates?
Um, yeah, red flag. I think that it takes a lot of effort, you know? Like you should show you're still interested, you want to keep the relationship alive. I do have to prod Nick though, to be like, hey, we should do something fun. Or like, hey, it's your turn to plan something. But I think in general, if you have generally no effort or no wanting to try something or plan something for your partner, then that is a red flag, and the other person should run. I mean, it goes both ways. Like, you both should really be planning, but take the initiative. That's really what it is.
I agree. Do you think it's a red or a green flag if they never plan a vacation?
Hmm. That one I almost can't be mad at them about because, like, I understand that it takes, like, a lot of effort. And, like, my family also does not like planning vacations. They
Mhm.
want to go somewhere, they express that interest, but they don't execute. But I'm biased that way because they've conditioned me to think that.
That's funny.
Do you think it's a red flag or green flag?
I don't know. It's hard because I'm so picky that it's just sometimes way easier to do it myself versus like telling the other person my list of requirements.
Yeah.
But I would like input.
Yeah, I like input too.
Hmm.
Like if I had options, I want them to just say which place they would be okay with going, and then I'll take it from there. That's it.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the hardest parts though.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't seem to ever get a straight answer out of that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Do you think it's a red flag if they hang out with their friends like 3 times a week?
Um, am I invited?
No.
Uh, hmm. I mean, I guess it's not like we were gonna do anything, but you're consistently hanging out with them 3 times a week and I'm not invited. Yeah, it's a red flag. I just feel like that's so weird. Like why do you need to consistently see them? Um, why can I not come?
Because it's
Yeah.
for the boys.
Yeah. Oh, that's gross. That's a red flag. Like anyone who's like, we have to hang out just for the boys. Ugh, gross.
What about if people just say for the boys?
I don't particularly like that, but I know like our boyfriends say that as a joke.
I know.
I don't love it, but you know, I understand the meme.
Mhm.
What's your thoughts on it?
Mm, I think, yeah, I definitely 3 times a week is a lot. I I just think I can't be. I think it's a red flag for me personally if someone's just like too active, like too out of the house. I'm not really an out of the house person. I'm more of a homebody. So the fact that we don't mesh in that way, I think is a red flag for me. So that like them going out so much, like with the boys, like for the boys and stuff, like cool. Like it's fine that you have friends, but like outside of like working, there's not that many days in the week do things together, I guess. And if you're taking like 3 out of the 4 potential days to hang out with the boys and you don't invite me, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ooh. Red or green flag go if they invite you to a lot of family gatherings.
Red flag. I've told you, I think I've said this before, where it's like, I will not date someone who is close with their family. Like, they can be like good with their family, but they don't need to see their family all the time. Like, if someone is like, oh yeah, like I love to visit my family like every single week, like you should come with me. They'll like love to see you. We do this all the time together. We have this celebration together that we always like go to. I'm like, that's not for me. And the fact that I don't go to those and they go to them and their family's always going to be like, oh, like where's Wanda, like why didn't Wanda come this time, and you always have to lie and say that Wanda's busy, but like Wanda just doesn't want to go. Like, no, that's just too much stress and anxiety.
How do you rule that out?
In the first day, you ask them, do you want kids, do you want to get married, and how close are you with your family?
That's so funny. I can't believe you asked that. That's actually wild.
Is it more wild than the first 2 questions that I ask?
Probably not. I guess it's the same level, but like when I know your intent behind that third one, I'm like, whoa, that's that's insane. Because the first one, it's almost like the intent makes sense. Like, okay, kids, like you either want them or no. Marriage, you either want yes or no. But it's like, do you hang out with your family? If you do, we're not dating.
I mean, like it could, like that's such an arbitrary thing, right? But it's such an important aspect of your life, because if you're really close to their family, but they're not close with their family, like you're not going to mesh.
Yeah.
Like if you want your parents to be over all the time, but like they don't, then you're not going to mesh. Like it's just it's like a compatibility thing.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It's just funny.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep adding to my list of first date questions. The issue with a first date coffee is there's too easy of an out and there's too short of a time. So then they could just like, I might not even get to those questions.
I mean, the date doesn't end when you're finished your coffee. Like you can go for a walk. No, you can like go for a walk and stuff.
Actually, in Japanese culture, it's frowned upon to walk and to eat.
I know, but like you finish your coffee and then you go for a walk. I also don't like walking and drinking.
Mm. Oh, actually, I like the vibe of like walking and drinking. Like it's kind of like it's like cool. I also don't mind walking, like drinking and shopping, but I sometimes like need 2 hands to shop.
Oh yeah, I hate walking. I hate drinking and shopping. Because, yeah, I need both my hands. And I also feel like people judge me more. Like,
why?
Not drinking, but eating, I guess. Like, eating while I'm walking. In the path, anyways, when I walk to work. And I'm, like, crushing a croissant or something.
Okay, to be fair, croissants are like, if it's a good croissant, it's super flaky. Like whenever I just eat a croissant, there's just like flakes everywhere. So I'm just imagining you with your trail of croissant crumbs, just walking in the path with your business casual wear.
Yeah, I'm like Hansel and Gretel. There's like breadcrumbs.
I don't think I think I side with the people who stare at you.
Okay, fine. How are you gonna rule that on a first date? Good luck.
I will stalk them from afar. I'll ask them what their like commute is in the morning, like via text, and then I will go find them and watch them, and then see how they interact when they think nobody is watching them.
Multiple choice question. You have a croissant. What do you do?
You have a croissant. You're late for work. What do you do? Ooh, that'd be interesting. We should develop a questionnaire that like we can just give to somebody.
Oh my god, we should gift it to our partners to see if they would actually like ace our questionnaire.
We should totally do this.
It would be really funny.
Yeah. Together we will make the questionnaire. And then we'll give it to them, and maybe we'll make it live on the pod, and then we'll reveal their answers live on the pod later.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah. Any final green or red flags?
Date whoever you'd like.
Well, like, I mean, not like whoever you like, because like if they have like really bad red flags, you should probably stay away from them.
That's a life lesson you're gonna learn the hard way, by guy.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening to another episode. Go like us and follow us on social media, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And go listen to us and like us wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. And join us next Thursday for our 100th episode of Apologetically Me.
Bye.
Bye.